Routine provides a sense of security, but it is often fragile. We build our lives around predictable patterns, only for a sudden, unexpected crisis to shatter that peace and demand an immediate response. In this forest, squirrels, monkeys, and rabbits spend their afternoons in play. But as a heavy rainstorm rolls in without warning, that joy turns to chaos. The animals scatter, driven into the dark woods by a shared sense of panic. In these moments, survival depends less on the severity of the rain and more on the mental state of the animals themselves. The environment is out of their control. Their reaction to it is not. One rabbit finds itself completely separated from the group. Shivering and lost in the deepening shadows of the woods, it begins to give in to the overwhelming terror of being alone in the storm. At the height of its fear, the rabbit recalls a specific warning from its mother. Crying and emotional distress are not just reactions, they are obstacles. They cloud the mind and actively destroy the cognitive ability needed to find a way out. Realizing this, the rabbit forces itself to stop. By suppressing the impulse to panic, it clears its vision enough to scan the surroundings. In that silence, it identifies a hollow tree, a safe, dry shelter that was there all along, hidden only by its own distress. This specific shift is documented here in the text. It describes the moment the rabbit remembers its mother's advice, gathers its courage, and moves from a state of paralyzed fear to one of rational action. By forcing a reset of its own internal state, the rabbit moves from being a victim of the environment to an active participant in its own survival. Regaining mental clarity is the mandatory first step towards solving any external crisis. The storm passes, but the morning brings a different kind of friction. Outside the rabbit's hollow tree, two cats, one black, one white, are locked in a violent struggle over a single piece of meat. The conflict is rooted in a shortcut. The black cat spent the effort to find the food, but the white cat attempted to bypass that labor by simply taking it for itself. This dynamic creates a destructive loop. When an individual chooses to bypass work in favor of theft, it triggers an immediate trust collapse. Both cats then waste more energy fighting over the resource than it would have taken to simply find a second meal. Attempting to harvest what someone else has earned does more than just start a fight. It removes the sense of accomplishment and security that comes from self-reliance, leaving both parties in a state of constant defensive tension. From the safety of the tree hollow, the rabbit intervenes. It doesn't join the fight, it acts as a voice of reason, questioning why they are choosing violence over a simple meal. The illustration captures this specific dynamic. By speaking from an elevated position, the rabbit provides a neutral perspective that forces the cats to pause and look at their own behavior objectively. The shift is immediate. The white cat acknowledges its mistake and asks for forgiveness, which prompts the black cat to stop defending the food and offer to share it instead. Admitting a fault and choosing to share resources are the most effective ways to de-escalate a conflict. In a single moment, the cats move from being competitors in a zero-sum game to allies in a shared environment. This new alliance is tested almost immediately. The group hears the sound of crying and discovers a herd of deer standing over a companion that has collapsed from illness, unable to move. Because the rabbit has maintained its calm, analytical mindset, it is able to diagnose the problem. It remembers the location of specific medicinal plants that can save the deer. The rescue requires teamwork. The cats use their agility to climb and gather the specific leaves, while the rabbit prepares the medicine. Together, they administer the cure, and the deer recovers its strength. This shows how their individual strengths combine. The rabbit provides the strategic knowledge, and the cats provide the rapid execution. These two distinct skill sets overlap to create a single effective solution that none of them could have achieved alone. Their earlier growth, overcoming panic and resolving their petty disputes, was the necessary preparation. It allowed them to form the stable group required to serve a purpose larger than their own immediate survival. After the deer is saved, the rabbit concludes that they all share a fundamental duty to protect the inhabitants of the forest. The cats realize that the relief and connection they felt while saving the deer provided a more durable sense of fulfillment. than the fleeting, bitter satisfaction of their earlier fight over food. The story identifies this realization with a specific phrase, asalaina anandam. It defines true happiness as a state achieved through action. This story, by Palluri Venkataminakshi from Narasapuram, maps a path through crisis via mindset and responsibility. True happiness is a predictable outcome. It requires courageous thinking, demands honest effort, and the selfless use of skills.